Welcome to Stock Inventory System. I'd just like to give you a tour. This is the menu. Gives you stock inventory master file, transactions, and transaction class. You have here on your left all the suppliers, and the main product of this system is the reorder point. Now quickly, stock inventory master file, you will see all your commodity items there linked to a specific control and sub-control accounts. Now this is all stock inventory accounts starting with Ogre machine, etc. blah blah blah, linked to a specific sub-control, and the control accounts is stock inventory. Going back, transactions will give you all the transactions of purchases and job order, meaning these are your in and this is your out, all PO pertaining to in. Transaction class classifies your supplier into their names, but for this demo purposes, let's just refer to supplier 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Okay, now these are when you make now the models. The models are displayed on your left side. For example, if you want to generate the PO for supplier 1, then you go to this model. And if you want to print that PO, you click here. And there you go, you have your purchase order. Now, if you want to view that purchase order in a print form, this is how it looks. Now, for now, the topic is how to create this particular model, so that the idea is to put all your suppliers here. Now, let's begin with going to that transaction menu. The first thing to do is to create a supplier transaction. So if you are ordering, let's say, 2 particular items for a specific supplier, let's just say it's supplier number 5, then all you have to do is highlight at least 2 records and copy it and paste it here. So you have 2 particular records or orders or commodity items assigned to a specific supplier. Let's say supplier number 5. Okay, there. So that classification that we just did is to group these 2 records or commodity items to a supplier 5. Let's say the items in which case are power supply and let's say, I don't know, stainless pipe. Okay. Or maybe related to electrical commodity items. I'm just spitballing here. I don't particularly know which particular items are ordered on a particular supplier. So let's just let's say a multi-tester, maybe more related to a power supply. Let's say you order it in supplier number 5, just indicate it here, and that is already finished. So you have 3 steps. Classify the transaction here by popping that up. As you can notice, this is 705 and this is 703 supplier. And name the supplier here and name the commodity items for that particular order. The purchase order should be can also be identified here. So what did you do? You just group in this particular transaction the order for supplier 5. Now why did you do that? Because later on that will be the basis for your model. So you close that, save it, and then you are now ready to begin with creating the model for supplier 5 here. So you open this navigation screen and you go to a particular query here and open that one, so you have an idea that is for supplier 4. You would be needing one like that for supplier 5, so you copy that and paste it for supplier 5. Okay, so you now have one supplier 5. Save it, and there you have it. Open it, and as you can notice, that is not what you indicated, what you added in the transaction file, because that's for supplier 4. So how do you convert that to the data for supplier 5? By going into the design view and simply changing this to 5. If you close that and go back to it again, that's what we did. Power supply and multi-tester. We have successfully separated the order for supplier 5 in preparation for our model. Okay, so the next step is so you've created the file. Now is to create the input screen. The input screen is in the form, this one. If you see this file, this is a form. So let's take a peek of supplier 4. Your form should also look like this one, and so you need exactly like this one. But this is for supplier 4, so you just simply copy. Supplier 4. Having some sound difficulty here. So, okay. Anyway, going on, continuing supplier 4, you copy and paste. So you have supplier 5. If you notice, the procedure are almost the same in making transactions, in making forms, almost the same procedure. So you have supplier 5, but once again the data is for supplier 4. So you change it by going to the design view and going to design and property sheet. There you change the file that you will be using. It's supplier 5, not supplier 4. And might as well, if you're here, you change this identification or title, which is also really the button for the report. So there, and then you go back to the form, you will see that this is now refresh it. Okay, so this is now for supplier 5. So you just change this for the vendor there, and the other data, contact address, TIN number of the supplier, and your order. Let's say your order is let's just put it in the same, or let's just put it in let's say 8, just for example, so that we may distinguish it later. Okay, so it's a unique number 8. Not necessarily that you'll be ordering 8 power supply, but